Hello and welcome back to Content Converse. I'm Peck and today I am joined by LogDog. Say hi.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Wasn't a very interesting day, but I don't know. I'm doing pretty good. I ate a pretty good pizza just a bit ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on the commission as we speak because I always draw while I'm talking.
Oh, that's cool.
And I don't know. I've never done anything like this before, so I'm excited.
So, let's just get started. So where did the name LogDog or like Logus Dogus come from and how did you come up with that?
Okay, this is gonna be an actual rabbit hole I'm about to send you down. So there was this programming block, I guess, in Britain called CBBC. It's basically the Children's British Broadcasting Channel. And for English class one day, we had to look up videos of these and describe them to teach us English.
Mm.
And one of them was about like a horse or something. It was like a stop motion horse that was baking a Christmas log. And he said it in a really funny voice, like, "Oh, the Christmas log."
My chocolate Christmas log!
And I made that my Steam username. And eventually, like, as different holidays came up, I changed it to like the Halloween log and the Easter log and etc. Until it eventually just became the log and then just log. And then for a long time, I went as just Log Draws on Instagram. And after a while, I made like a little dog mascot, and he became the Log Dog. And because Log Dog is too short, I made up that his full name is Logus Dogus. So there you go.
So it all started from a very young age and you kept it like for years.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a few usernames that never really like felt like right, but I think it was when I turned 14, 15 maybe. That's when I came up with Log.
Nice. And was that around the same time that you started creating art, or was that later?
Okay, the how I got into art is like way back when. I think when I was like 4 or 5.
Okay.
And because we used to like, of course, everyone knows what recess is, but the older kids used to play with us like once a week at my school, and one of them used to draw things with chalk on the school ground. And one time he drew like a massive ass Indian elephant, and I was like, I can do that. And like I started trying to mimic that, and eventually I was just drawing on everything, like my homework I was drawing on the walls, I was drawing on whatever piece of paper I could find. And that's kind of just how I kept doing that for the rest of my life.
So we can all thank the Indian elephant for Log Dog
The
here.
random Indian elephant. Yeah.
If it wasn't for the Indian elephant, we wouldn't get the drawings we get today.
Yeah.
Aside from like that elephant, what other like inspirations did you have when you first started art?
I still am and always was like super into comic books and cartoons. It would just be me trying to redraw things in SpongeBob or Ben 10. Especially Pokemon was a big inspiration for me. It's why I also have like that's also why my mascot is like a weird little cartoon guy, because I always been into like the cartoony creatures. I mean, yeah, basically everything around me is an inspiration. I can get ideas from like the weirdest things sometimes.
I mean, that's always good, just being able to like see something and then be like, oh, I can make a drawing out of that.
Yeah.
So in a weird way, the dog is like a sort of like Pokemon.
I don't know. It's just that like I think with Pokemon started my fascination with like little cartoon creatures and maybe like Looney Tunes as well.
Gotcha. So it's just like a little buddy kind of thing.
It's a little guy, you know.
Oh, yeah,
He's just a little fella.
he's just a little fella.
Yeah.
Obviously, that eventually led down the NSFW route. Where did that start coming into play?
there was this comic artist that I found that did like workshops, and I learned a lot from him. And he told me like, hey, you gotta make like a social media where you post your art, so that you like slowly get fans, and they can give you feedback, and like based on that you keep growing and growing, and eventually grow your art into a brand. Back in the day, like way ago, I think it might have been like 7 or so years, I was mostly drawing on Instagram, and I made like one robot girl uh, OC. I don't have any art of her. Maybe I'll revisit her someday. But one of my fans said like, "Oh, hey, you should draw like a pin-up with her." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." You know, I like pin-ups. And my dad was a photographer who primarily did pin-up pictures. Like the inspiration from what my father did, and the suggestions from my fans eventually went into like slightly suggestive, and then once in a while I drew like some nipples, and then like one by one it evolved into it being my entire brand.
It was the slippery slope. Hey, you should do a pinup too. Well,
Yeah,
what we got today.
I mean, I still kind of do pin-ups, I guess you could
Yeah.
call them. But yeah, that's, I don't know, I ended up really liking it, I guess.
I mean, yeah, especially like if you are surrounded by like that, especially like from your father, and then like you get fans telling you like, hey, this would be cool to see. It's like, oh well, you know, maybe I should keep doing this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So nowadays you draw a lot of like femboy and like, you know, that kind of feminine person type characters.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any reason, you know, in particular that you made that your specialty, or is that something that just kind of came naturally, kind of like the NSFW stuff, where it just kind of one thing led to another?
I think I talked about it a while ago, like a year, maybe even 2. I was always kind of like thinking like, am I like fully straight? Am I just into girls? And then I played Undertale, and then Metaton came out of his shell, and it was this guy that was wearing like latex pants and high heeled boots and things, and like something in my brain exploded, and I started looking up like Metaton fan art, and I wanted to draw him, and like most of my art started kind of resembling more masculine, feminine kind of stuff. It started like that. It started as just a thing that I also draw. Like I used to draw like basically 50-50. But my femboy stuff became way popular, so nowadays I also mainly draw it because, you know, that's what gets me the commissions. That's what gets me the attention and shit.
So first of all, Metaton was your bi awakening, basically.
Yeah.
Do you mind that femboy is like your big like money
Well,
maker to say it, or do you wish you could like branch out a bit more without it, like, you know?
I mean, I don't mind it. I love drawing this kind of stuff. I love drawing femboys, and I do really like femboys. You know, like everyone wishes they could do whatever they wanted, you know.
Right.
Like I also have like aspirations of making like a non-NSFW comic book or something, but maybe that's like way ahead in the future.
Once you're more like stable, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, and once I'm more experienced, I guess, because comic book drawing, I made one comic about my NL OC, and that took like the better half. It took like almost a year. I think a little longer than a year actually, and it was very tiring, and you can tell because all backgrounds basically disappeared at the end. But you know, so I need to build up more experience before I take on projects like that.
In your entire career, what's been like a huge like highlight for you, and then like a low light where something like was like really bad?
Well, a highlight is definitely just like meeting. Like when I started drawing NSW art, I had like this list of people that really inspired me, and most of them are like friends with me now, which is really cool. And so, I mean, just meeting new people in general has been awesome. And of course, like I don't know, this sounds like a cheesy answer, like the Zen answer, like, oh well, all of it is kind of the best. But I don't know, I like the people I've met through it. I've like the community I've built. If I had to like do one single thing, just like I think yesterday or 2 days ago, Someone sent me a song they wrote based on one of my Big Meat comics. The police one, if you're wondering. I don't
Oh
know
yeah.
I can know if I can share the song, but it's actually pretty good. So that's pretty cool. That's not something I ever expected would happen.
Somebody just wrote an entire like, how like was it like a long song or was it
It's
just
like
like a
it's
little
like
ditty?
it's like a regular like couple minute long song, and it's like a rap song,
Oh, that's cool.
hip hop thing. It's pretty cool. It's in Portuguese though, so I don't
Oh,
really
okay.
understand it, but it's still, you know.
It's a thought that counts.
Yeah.
Like you'll be like headbanging, like yeah, I don't know what's being said, but it sounds cool.
I hope it's not bad.
Please don't be canceling me right now. Speaking of the Big Meat comics, I always find those ones like really, really funny. I really like those ones a lot.
Thank you.
Because it's like you got like the big dude and you think like, oh, it's just gonna be like some asshole or whatever, and he's just like really supportive of everything and everyone.
I do think he is one of my best creations, because he's just so, he started off as just a one-off gag character, because like a fun fact about that, the first one was like the girlfriend flirts with Big Meat and then Big Meat flirts with him.
Yeah.
He was just wearing like a white t-shirt, and I thought it looked kind of boring, and I thought, wouldn't it be funny if I wrote Big Meat on this? And that became like my new brand, I guess.
The Big Meat man.
Yeah, you can kind of tell he is just meant to be a background character, because he doesn't have eyes, he doesn't have a nose, he's completely bald.
Right.
He's like the easiest to draw character in existence, and that's kind of what makes him so special, you know.
Yeah, it's like you kind of like you can almost like, I guess not everyone, but some people can like insert themselves into that and just be like, oh yeah.
Or they can imagine what he like actually looks like underneath the shadow.
With the Big Meat face reveal at 1 million follows.
You joke about that, but there have been people asking me like, oh, what does he look like, and what, I have theories about him, you know. How did he get in the police station, and like, you know, that's the funny part, you know. There is no explanation. He's always kind of there right on time.
He always knows when there's a fellow man in trouble and that needs to be unleash their true self, basically.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
It's like the bat signal. The Big Meat signal.
Oh, that's right. That actually gave me another idea. Thank you.
Okay. Speaking of like fan interactions, have you had any like really special ones that like made you like, you know, either really happy or like really weirded out?
I mean, both, of course. I once got recognized in public. That was kind of cool. Like I was at a convention and someone walked up to me like, "Hey, do you make art?" Like, huh? What? Do you make art under the name LogDog? I'm like, wait, what? And I just took like a picture with them, and it was really, really sweet. We had like a little conversation. Everyone who like cosplays my art is fucking insane. Like, oh my god, this is like the coolest fucking thing ever. If I had to pick like a weird one, there once was a guy, because like I said, I used to primarily post on Instagram. There once was a guy that pretended to be two people, and one of them really hated me and the other one really liked me, and like the person that really liked me, that he pretended to be, wanted to be my friend, but I wasn't really responding because I was busy. So he made the other account to like really hate on me, and then he like flagged down my NSFW account that I had on Instagram, because I had like a private account where you could only get into with requests. Where I just straight up posted porn, and they like completely reported that to the ground. And then on the good account it said, "Oh, I'm so sorry that happened," you know. However, they thought they were on the good account, but they accidentally mixed the two up, and that's how I caught on. So that was an interesting experience.
Like, why? What was their goal?
To be my friends, I guess. Listen, some people work in special ways.
That's one way to put it. So you've been in in the art world for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give to any artists out there who want to start creating, whether that just be like regular, like, landscape drawings, or like they actually want to go down the NSFW route? What advice would you give them when they want to start out?
If you want to like just learn how to draw, then just keep at it, go to your favorite artists and study their art. Try to like lower put it in whatever program you use, lower the opacity, and try to like draw over it to like not just look at the art, but like fully understand like where each line is. Try to like see the shapes in each art, and slowly and surely try to apply that to your own art, and or try to copy art styles you like. I once got the advice to like grab a drawing you really like and try to recreate it one by one, and then keep trying to draw in that style you like until you keep fucking up, and boom, you have your own art style.
Exactly.
And if you want to grow as an artist, because that's kind of a different thing, because you can be the best artist in the world and have like 2 likes per post. Make a lot of fan arts, chase trends, find your thing that people like I have the femboy thing, I have the big meat thing that people really latch onto. Think of like unique ideas, and eventually you'll get that one post that just bam, like 1 million likes, and then like, okay, this is something people like. Don't milk that idea, but do try to expand upon it. Maybe do try to draw stuff like that, and then as you gain your own audience, you can like expand into other things again. It's like with any business, you gotta like, or any hobby, you gotta keep at it, you gotta study it, and just pick up that pen every single day. Just keep going. You bring a notebook everywhere. Just keep drawing. Never stop.
Never give up.
Draw till your hands bleed, till they fall off.
Till you have no more hands, then you get robot hands that only draw.
And if you die from a heart attack from too much drawing, you just do it again in the next life.
But don't trace. Okay, if you trace, at least just don't make it as your own.
Actually, about that, yeah, tracing is good for practice. Like I basically just told people to trace people's work.
Yeah, trace, but don't claim it as your own.
Yeah, like keep it as practice. Keep it for yourself.
As an artist, I just thought about it now. How do you feel about like all this like AI art stuff and whatnot? That's especially getting a lot more popular nowadays. Like it started off as like a joke where you're like, oh, that's a really shitty drawing, but now it's actually starting to become like hard to tell in some areas whether it was human or AI. Is that like concerning? Do you feel like it could be used in a positive way in some way? Like how does that how does that feel?
I mean, of course it is a little scary, that especially how fast it's developing. Like in recent weeks I've seen AI art that I had like double check, and some that actually feels like it has like character in it. Like that is, of course, it's a little scary, but I don't think it'll ever get at that human level. Like if you zoom in on my art, you see like a ton of like little spots I forgot the color or forgot the shade, or it's the wrong color, or it's like a line goes somewhere where it shouldn't, or there's tangents and shit. So if I look over, but that's kind of what I like about art. Like you can see little imperfections in it. And with AI, it's slowly starting to become more and more perfect, and that's why you instantly notice like, okay, this is AI. Like, of course there's also the hand joke, like AI can't do hands. But most artists can't do either, but don't tell them that. Like, of course it is scary, but in the end I'm not actively thinking about AI at any time. Only when like someone brings it up or when I see it. I'm not scared that it's gonna take over at all.
Some people are making like the argument where it's like, oh well, it can be used to help. It's like, oh, draw, like, you can tell an AI, oh, draw this for me, and then it's like, okay, this is what I kind of want to go for, or like it can help with like poses and stuff like that. And I think they have like a they have a good idea. It's just, you know, will people stick to it just being helpful, or will they try to, you know, make a career out of it?
I agree. That's a good use of AI, in my opinion. Like you can use it to get IDs, or it's good to get like a post ID from, I guess. However, like you said yourself, if you keep falling into like, oh, you need, like it starts with, okay, I want to make a big drawing, but I have no idea how to pose this guy. I'm gonna render like AI images similar to it, just for this one time. And then like a week later you say, I can do it another time, and you keep going and going, and eventually, like, yeah, your art might improve a bit, but the moment you stop using that AI, you can't do anything anymore.
Right.
Like you do, like it's a good way to practice, but just like cycling, you need to like remove those like little side wheels at some point.
I think that's pretty much everything. I like to always ask at the end of interviews if there is that the audience can like get a little sneak peek of for watching the entire interview.
I do. I have two things actually.
Oh, okay.
One of them is my own personal project that I've been working on for a while, kind of on and off, because I keep forgetting about it. But I'm working on like a longer, fully colored and shaded comic.
Okay.
About one of my characters, Olivia and Neffy.
Okay.
Which I can show like a sneak peek of. And I'm working on a bit more secretive project that will hopefully be announced in the coming weeks, probably months. But it is with a collaboration with a writer friend of mine. We are writing a book of sorts.
Oh.
And I'm illustrating stuff for it.
Oh, that's cool.
And I can provide you with 2 sneak peek images. Here you go.
Oh yeah.
You'll probably see them on the screen right now. Look at that beautiful art. Look at those beautiful lines.
Yeah, look at
Make
the
sure to
color.
give me a lot of compliments in the comments, please.
Yes. Make sure to absolutely flood with oh, I see the dog in the
If I see a single negative comment, I will delete my Twitter account.
This is a threat.
Please.
No, but it looks good. I'm very excited to see where this goes.
No, I have no estimated time of arrival for either of these. Just soon, probably, maybe.
Soon in big bold text. Is there any final thing you'd like to say to the audience and your fans out there before we wrap it up?
Thanks for listening. Stay logging. I love you all. Thank you for like supporting me all these years and bringing me up to like an absolute insane amount of support and followers. And thanks for putting up with my stupid little drawings. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed hearing my heavy Dutch accent. Yeah, I think that's it.
Well, thank you again so much for, taking time out of your day to do this with me. And
yeah, and thank you for the wonderful interview.
Oh, okay.
Everyone at home give a little applause.
Oh, okay.
To Back TV.
Oh, thank you.
Do you hear all the clapping?
Oh, I
hear it.
I hear it right now. It's
so loud. It's
it gets a little too loud. Come on. Oh, there we go.
It wasn't that good. Come on.
Yeah, come on. I'm not out here. It wasn't that good. Come on. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. Thanks once again, LogDog, for taking time out of their day. And I'll see you all again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.